Hi, this is Emily Funderburk. I'm one of the licensed therapists here at the Chronic Hope site, and I'm just so thankful to get the opportunity to be here with you today. I want to add a resource to your life. I want to give you some encouragement and change your perspective on something that I've noticed everybody or most people struggle with. And today, that topic is loneliness. I hear from a lot of people that one of the deepest pains they deal with, one of the times that is the hardest for them to turn a place of negativity into a place of positivity, is when they are feeling lonely. Loneliness can be a deep-rooted problem in our life because of what it does to our mental state. In a place of loneliness, we start to think negatively. We have depression-like symptoms that arise. A lot of times people that struggle with anxiety, that will be at its peak during moments where loneliness creeps in. Loneliness can be a trigger to a lot of our other unwanted behaviors in our life. And so today I want to make a connection with you that I've noticed, and one that I hope encourages you today, is that while loneliness is one of the biggest struggles that we face in our life, I think that we make an automatic connection anytime we are alone, that we automatically feel like we are lonely. And I just want to combat that thought for a minute today, because if we can change our perspective, it'll change the way that we feel and interact and the way that we think during times of struggle. So today, whatever it is that you're going through, I want to remind you that when you are alone, you can fight loneliness. That because you are in your house by yourself, because you are going to the doctor's appointments by yourself, because you are in the middle of a situation and you feel like nobody understands, that is a feeling of being alone, a momentary circumstance that says, I am alone right now. But being alone doesn't mean that you're lonely. Our lives are constant reminders and fillers of things that tell us that we are void of other things in our life. So an example is just walking around every day and not having friends reach out to you, not having people in your life that are constantly around you. When you're at a time where you feel like you need support the most, and you feel like when I needed support the most, all of my friends ran from me. And if that's you today, if that's something you're noticing or you're struggling with, then you're feeling this. You're feeling moments of loneliness, because you're recognizing that you're having moments right now where you're in a season of feeling all alone. And so I want to encourage you today that there's other reminders in your life. Right now you're being fed mentally lots of reminders to feel lonely. One of the reasons we exist here at Chronic Hope is because we want to intercede on your negative reminders, and we want you to have a positive reminder in your life that you are supported, you are loved, you are cared for, and you are seen, and you are surrounded. So today, we hope that you get that from joining us on our Chronic Hope page. I hope that you combat some of those feelings, that when you have a moment where you feel alone, that you don't automatically believe that you are lonely. So a great example of this flip is just being a mother. A mother is kind of where I'm at in my life right now, and where a lot of my metaphoric examples come from. And as a mother, when I am alone, I am recognizing that that's actually a positive word for me. That being alone, where I get alone time, that's not a negative thing. It doesn't make me feel lonely. Being alone reminds me that I can refresh, recharge, that being alone is okay. I don't need to be surrounded by people, especially little people attached to my leg all the time. That being alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. But when I feel lonely is when I struggle with seeing my social media feed. And even though I'm happy that I'm alone by myself, I'm seeing pictures and pictures and pictures of everybody having a great time and going out and doing exciting things and traveling and exploring the world. And I'm sitting here wondering, 5 minutes ago, alone felt amazing. And now I'm comparing it to everyone else. And now all of a sudden, alone isn't positive. It's lonely, and it's sad, and it's depressing. Do you see the connection that just happened? I took an experience of alone, where being alone can be a positive, restful thing in your life. But loneliness is the struggle. Loneliness is the thought pattern that I need to wipe away from my mind. Loneliness is robbing me from peace and joy and patience and kindness. That the feelings of loneliness tell me a distorted reality. They tell me I have no friends. They tell me that nobody wants to be around me. Loneliness feeds me these voices that combat the truth that I know about myself. And so if that's you today, if you notice that you have feelings of loneliness that creep in and that being alone triggers you to feel lonely, I want you to make a disconnect today. I want you to disconnect that because I'm alone doesn't mean I have to feel lonely. Give yourself reminders. Focus on the positive reminders in your life, reminding you of what you do have. For some of you, you have a belief in God. And for you, that's one of your biggest strengths. That in times of being alone, you believe that God is for you. He stands with you. He is beside you, He goes before you, and He is with you always. You have that belief that keeps you going because you know that even during times of feeling alone, that you don't have to feel lonely. For some of you, those are resources that you're in support groups that are positive for you, a counselor in your life that is there for you, a pastor that reaches out for you. You have, if you are in AA, then you have a mentor, a sponsor that you reach out to, that you know that even during times where you feel alone, you are not lonely because you have in your pocket people that you can call. So today, that's my encouragement for you, is that while I'm giving you this talk, if you're thinking in your head, I don't have anyone to turn to, I don't have a list of people that I would call during times where I feel lonely, I don't have a list in my head of reminders that remind me during times of being alone that I'm not lonely, that I have this, and this that is for me. If you don't automatically have that in your life, I want to encourage you, don't go another day without getting that piece of paper out and making that list for yourself. This is important. This is a priority. Fighting loneliness can help so much of the negativity and the depression and the hurtful thoughts that you think in the middle of the night. 3 o'clock is when people are really noticing that their negative thoughts are happening the most because you feel alone. And that makes you feel lonely. So I want you to have moments where when you feel alone, you have something that you can pull out, something that says, I'm not alone, or I am alone, but I'm not lonely. I have chronic hope that's for me. I have a God that is way bigger than my situation. I have a best friend that would be here and drop off groceries at my house if I needed it. I have a neighbor that I could call if things were really bad. I have this hotline that I can call if things are at their worst. I want you to have a list of things in your life that you turn to and that you would call in times of dire need, so that when you are alone, you have a reminder that you don't have to feel lonely, that you are surrounded even when the room around you has nobody there. You're still surrounded. Be uplifted today, friends, and I hope this encourages you. I hope that you use this word to encourage someone else in your life today, that we can be alone, but we can redefine if we're going to allow being alone to make us feel lonely. You have a voice, you have a power in your own life, and I hope you tune into it today. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we're so glad to have you here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.